Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I am William Zhang, DigitalQF, your caster. It's been a long day, but we're still back on it tonight for yet another cast. Thankfully, though, I am joined by Crash OBS, here to assist me, here to do some color commentary, as well as the camera work. And, Crash, you there?
Yeah, I'm a little dead, so, talking's gonna be a bit minimal for me tonight, though, but it's fine, because you have to listen to this in Digital's voice, right? And I know that's what half of you guys are here for, so... I shouldn't really disappoint on that front, so I hope you guys are ready for this. Look, I'm going to be talking mainly during 5 phase, so when there's been downtime. Outside of that, I'm pressing buttons because I want to make sure you guys see kills okay, because that's kind of what I'm here for.
You heard the man, and the teams are ready. Tonight it will be Nebula versus Dynasty Esports Club. Let's hit it. Map 1, Haven. So Crash, Haven, take us away.
Look, right, I know Dragon's a Viper player, or he plays Viper on Bind, and that would be pre-Viper buff, or there's the world where we see a combat on Haven, considering I think she's like viable on 4 out of 5 maps, Ascent being the one that I don't really think you'd want to pick her, since... Like,
too small?
I don't know, it's just, I feel like server pick rate on that map is like way too high, and it's just, you don't get as much value out of it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dragon just go straight onto a Jet. He's quite comfortable on the agent. Never mind, we see Viper. Okay, so I was right all along, right? I should just like stick with my gut next time.
Yeah.
Just second guess myself, because apparently like I'm just correct. But this is like really standard from Dynasty here. Like this is like your bread and butter Haven comp. The interesting thing about Nebula is these guys have like Rose, Dragon, and like Minimize such young players, and they're playing such like obscure agents when you typically want to see those players on those duelists, but instead we are seeing Jesse on the Raze, right? And he's also their IGL, so a fragging IGL or a duelist IGL is something that you don't really see too much outside of like, let's say someone like Sub Rosa, all the way from TSM and NA, so it's a bit obscure, but I don't doubt that they can make it work. Looks like Cypher isn't getting hovered anymore, and we're seeing Sneaks hover the Reyna, so that's also, okay, we're seeing, okay, oh my god. This comp's actually really cool. I really like this actually. Okay, so you got bread and butter on one side, you got a very unique comp on the other.
Wow.
I just want to see how this Viper plays out. I'm very excited, considering Viper pre-buffs is basically unseen on Haven. You don't want to be playing her, it's completely suboptimal, right? But the fact that now you lose 50 health just by touching any of the util that isn't her molly is absolutely disgusting. I think that value in itself is just way too good not to have, right? So I'm really interested to see how Dragon actually pilots his Viper. So him being a player just behind his like insanely cracked aim, right? I want to see if he's got the brain to be able to use this agent as well.
Well, I certainly hope they do have the brain. Once again, camera controls handed over to lovely Crash, guys. If you don't know who this guy is, which you should know by now, Crash OBS, the premier observer for Valorant and OCE. Well, like you said earlier, a really, really unorthodox composition coming out from Nebula. You see the Sky, you see the Viper, and you see the Astra. 3 agents you rarely get seen together on a single team. This is Haven as well. And so I'm going to go off on a branch here and assume these guys, they've been screaming their asses off with these characters.
Look, I would like to assume that these guys have been practicing this comp for a while and you're not just going to pick up these very obscure agents out of nowhere. Hopefully that's the case, otherwise I'd be very concerned. Other than that, though, it looks like it's going to be a bit of just a standard default coming out. Looks like Keto is just going to be sitting towards top mid here. Very minimal fights happening as they are going to creep down here, Digital.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, towards the A Sewers angle, and there are already 2 players on the defense. Dynasty ready. The Tasmanian Tiger gets destroyed. I think it may have scattered out a few. Oh, Keto is aware, and Suave walks right into those crosshairs. Your unorthodox composition not quite paying the dividends just yet. Dragon as well, 34 HP. Wouldn't he even get tagged down that low? So far, not the best start for Nebula.
But I think that's something of more of like the composition. I think it's just no one's really taking that space, right? No one's really being mindful of that middle arc, right? They just weren't aware of that possibility and they got punished for it, right? So you're already in a 4-on-5 situation with Dragon being extremely low. It looks like the hit is going to be coming out towards you. I'm curious to see how this Astra is going to be playing this out there, but we do see Dragon going for a bit of an interesting wall, and Jesse looks like he's going to be going a bit of a lurk here.
Jesse on the lurk, and there's already a Sova Lusix on site, but Jesse first point on engagement. Oh, the frenzy loses out to Nameless's classic. The players of Nebula keep falling one at a time. Just not enough damage to be done. No tradebacks even. And look at Lusix just sitting on the logs, lying in wait like a predator in the shadows. All the players of Nebula have rotated off with a single Viper lineup spare perhaps over towards Garage, but 5 players of Dynasty Esports Club already on the defuse. Lucix, he's going to stick all the way, because why not? I don't think... Oh dear, that's disastrous. No snake bites to come out. Dragon, a little bit too late. Couldn't even get the free frag. Manages to get 3 for himself, almost the 4th. But Lucix finally ends his gunfight.
What even was that? What even was that?
I know, speechless. On the bright side though, Dragon, he's 4 out of 7 for his ultimate, and just that wasn't even like during the actual round.
That's just so strange. Oh, alright. I just want to correct myself. Apparently minimizes the IGO, not Jesse. Alright, so maybe they've changed up the roles last time I've spoken to them there. Do apologize about that. Outside of that, the good thing about Dragon getting a bunch of his ultimate points there is the fact that they can potentially use that Viper Spit as a win condition going into another round coming up very soon, because they will have access to that, right? They got the spike down, they're basically going to be able to confirm the purse plant, providing they just dodge the Soviet util correctly, right? And they play around it properly. But Keto, he's already up to doing what he did in the piss round. He's pushing down mid.
The spike, once again, like you mentioned previously, dropped in the same place. Suave this time does manage to pick it up, and Dragon sneaking behind him. The only problem is, Keto, he hears the footsteps onto Rolls. Oh, same story again. Keto gets the initial pick, and as well damage onto Dragon. Nebula, they have pistols, but Keto's just tapping away. 2 kills going for him. Nebula, the down 2 players, and no refrag, not much damage even. They have to retrieve the spike and try and deal with Keto on the flank. Keto still going for more. Minimize finally there to finish his tyranny, but Nebula, the game pinched in. They was for 3, tapping away at distance.
That's pretty
damn.
I mean, the key thing to note about that is the 2 players that got most of those frags in that round, with the 2 players that didn't even upgrade, they held onto those ghosts from the pistol round, right? So everyone else on the team decided to upgrade, and these people just held onto those ghosts. So look at Keto right now. He was the only one that went down in that round. He's going to be up, like, opting to pick up that Phantom coming into this round. So he's probably going to be the playmaker for the team coming into this one. He wants to do the most damage as possible. They know that they can buy in the next round, right? They're very comfortable to invest this amount of money going into this round. So if he just gets like 1 kill here, I'd say it's completely fine there, but obviously you want to try to win the round.
Yeah, obviously, Nebula, this is their first buy round, like I mentioned earlier, and Keto, here you go. Your prediction seems to be correct so far. Once again, going for the mid play, we'll have to fall back. So far, it's just poking and prodding. No one going anywhere just yet. Nebula still on the standard defaults.
It's really slow play, right? I think one of the things about this comp as well is the amount of information you can get with the Sky and a server, right? You know, already right now we're seeing the, I don't even know what that's called, to be honest, the little... What's that called again? The drone, basically, for the Sky.
The Tasmanian Tiger, Trailblazer.
The Trailblazer, right? Look,
yeah.
I'm not good with agent abilities, but yeah, it's just you have so many pieces of utility available, right, that you can use to get onto those sites and get info. But it does look like they burnt a lot of utility towards that A site that pulled the rotations and the execute on to C. And see a Guardian Light flash just from Minimize, just to guarantee there's no one there. Utility as well, plus even the Viper Wall. It'll be a free site for Nebula for the taking. So much utility is being used, but to what extent, really? Granted, it is to clear the angles, but there is no one to be seen from Dynasty. Dynasty, remember, they have worsted guns and Nebula. It's rifles all the way. They should be good for them. Suave, I'm surprised he didn't get flashed as he gets out of the angle. Indeed. Nebula, Jesse catching sneaks on the sneaking lurk, and that's so much Astra utility as well on the spike. You expect a lot of fragiles, expect a lot of stuns, and one single snake bite. A single snake bite could change the narrative of the story. There you go, it gets pumped out, and a snake bite, it doesn't even matter because Jesse, everyone's just pumping bullets down range. The spike, it's locked in that single corner. The snake bite as well. Jesse on 3 kills, big fella. He burned, he was toxic. Jesse for 4. How's this even happening? He's tapping away. Here's a single player just yet. Keto on the refrag, on to Minimize, and Jesse acing the round, just tapping away on the same angle. What the hell, man? I'll say right now, from an observer standpoint, catching an ace like that is so difficult, right? This man is spamming through. He gets 1 alert kill, right? Yeah. And the rest of them are coming through an urban, like, parent, or what is it? Thought cover, right?
Yep.
So I'm so happy I managed to get the last 2 of those and the first one there, but I mean, that's huge for him as well. He has a showstopper available, so that does give him an option to use that as an entry tool. The one thing you need to keep in mind is the fact, oh wait, they have a, wait, there's a vector on the side of knee. Wait, this buy could be extremely problematic, potentially.
Potentially 3 rifles though, 1 Guardian and a Spectre. You can work with it, granted you're on the defense, and you know, Nebula, they might line up. Dragon already challenging Nameless early on with a Snakebite invested just to prevent any sort of push coming out from Garage. Still same story, poking and prodding and picking up the ult orbs.
Really liking how they can keep getting A1 control basically for free every single round. I mean, look at the amount of value that these two players are getting towards A-Long and Sua's area, right? They've been able to take these spaces for free basically every single round. There's nothing that Dynasty's really doing about it. I'm assuming that their game plan is to completely just trust their Cypher and holding that site down there, but we will potentially be seeing an alien here as Keto's up to his old tricks again.
Oh, Keto. Surely third time. Oh no, fool them once, shame on you. Fool them twice. Keto, this is gonna be huge. M1 Grand in hand, looking to pop heads now. Nebula already taking the side. They're on the side. Minimize goes down to Big Fella. Two players still holding down the angle. Keto from the flank. Nebula, all the players are falling one at a time. Down to Dragon now, onside 1v3. He has to clutch out a future for his team. No Viper's available. Tries to go for the initial kill. The spray down doesn't work out. Flashpoint in his face. Lose 6 to end it. And Dynasty, 3 players standing, 3 rounds up.
It's just interesting. I feel like they're giving Dynasty way too much respect. Keto has done the exact same play 3 times in a row, right? Well, not 3 times in a row, but 3 times in 4 rounds, right? One thing you do need to keep in mind with this comp is they don't have something like a Cypher or Killjoy, right? You place one of the pieces of utility down and you're going to completely stop that from even happening to begin with, right? So the one downside about this is the fact that they don't have a way to really watch those flanks consistently without investing manpower, right? That's one thing that we do need to pay attention to in this game, because it is starting to punish them. That might be like the one flaw with their comp that we're starting to see now.
Their comp, so much utility, and then basically that post-plant situation, you saw nothing that Dynasty could do. But yeah, you're right, fully. As you mentioned, no Cypher, no Killjoy, no utility to automatically hold these angles, and Keto still playing around mid. Jesse about to engage with Sneaks right off the bat. Look at the wrong way, Sneaks does reveal himself in the nick of time. Jesse, his position is known, and that's utility wasted as well by Sneaks. The showstopper, narrowly catching Sneaks, just the tail end burns him a little bit. Keto! Oh my gosh, Crash, this can't be happening. Rose, same story time and time again. How is Keto being able to get these angles, pushing mid-window every single round and picking up these kills? Nebula, they will have to spike planted on the A site. Same old story, but you have to worry about Keto on the flank. Thankfully, though, he does rejoin his team towards the A main angle. Dragon has landed these shots, 1-for-1 trades so far. Last 3 plays of Nebula standing. The Seekers are deployed as Minimize does go down. Keto for 3, all down to swap by himself, 1v4. No utility to work with. Hunter's Fury, 2 charges away. He has to land at least 2 kills in order to try use the ultimate, but looking unlikely. Big Fella crouching, shooting, and Dynasty, they take a 3-round lead.
I don't even know what's going on here, to be completely honest. I think they're very comfortable walking onto A or letting them walk onto A every single round and playing for the retake, right? They've retaken this site like so easily every single time. That's like the one trap that Nebula keeps walking into, right? I think one thing that they need to do is just establish a better post plan, and it's not easy with a comp like this, right? Because generally with a Cypher or Killjoy, you can dump their util down and it's going to be able to delay that retake, right? The one thing that I think Nebula needs to do this round is just deploy that Viper Pit, and you can basically just auto win around from that point onwards if you play it correctly, right? You need to put down that Viper's Pit, you need to stand in it, right? And you need to make sure that they walk into it, and they're losing that 50
and they take that 50,
time you are taking those fights, but Lucix is using an operator on server down C long.
Oh, mate. Lucix. Oh, great pick onto Dragon. He tanks that reveal. It doesn't even matter. And Nameless was lying in wait. The Viper went down in the nick of time. Dynasty, they're getting all the kills. Nebula getting nothing. Nameless still tapping away through the smoke. The spike finally being planted by Jesse. Paranoia as well. Rolls is feeling fear in his veins. The last 2 players standing. Rolls got to go huge for his team because Jesse goes for 1 and Rolls misses his shots. Nameless for 3. Dynasty, they're really starting to build up momentum in this matchup.
Yeah, I think they're starting to run away with this map potentially, right? It is a bit too early to call it, obviously. We are only 6 rounds in. But looking at the grand scheme of things, I mean, Dragon was the one member that had to, like, that needed to survive, right? If they wanted a chance at winning that round. He's basically secondary entry there, and he just completely goes down. There's absolutely nothing you're going to be able to do. You can't trade him in that situation, right? He's getting spammed through that angle as the wall goes down. He's completely untradeable. You lose your Viper's Pit in that round. You're basically already out of the round from that point onwards. So this is another rifle round coming out, and they need to win this one. Otherwise, Dynasty is completely running away with its half. Potentially the map already this early on.
And also, funny to notice, Sneaks and Swath both sitting on a fat donut right now. And but Dynasty, they're feeling completely fine with it. Sneaks, he doesn't really have to do anything. Just stay there, give intel to his team, and that's it. Nebula, oh, Nameless, that's brutal onto Dragon. Minimize, trying to get the refrag. Nameless still tapping away. He might actually come out on top. Minimize does get the trade back, but no Sage Resurrections available. Sky can't do that. She's a herbal healer of sorts. Keto, don't tell me he's going for the same play again, pushing down mid. Oh, Crash. Suave is there to watch. Jesse will spot out Sneaks, and that paint shell will cost him left, right, good nights. Oh, okay. Somehow he
barely alive.
survives.
They have to check this, right?
They probably do, and a Tiger will finish him. Jesse was the one to get the headshot, and Keto, oh my god, man! How does Keto keep doing this? This time he's joined by Big Fella, and now the flash plus dash combo might prove to be deadly for Nebula. We don't see it coming out, though, as Suave gets taken out. Hunter's Fury from Lucix onto Suave, the instant trade back. Nebula, they are a man up. The spike has been planted, and it's all down to Lucix by himself. A single operator and utility to work with. Crash, I don't like his odds.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna assume he's out of this round here, though. Like, he does have an operator in hand, and I mean, it's not really a retake I would personally want to go for, but when you up or are up this many rounds, right, you can opt for certain plays like this. Try to perk and prod, potentially get some economic damage there, but he is just going to be calling the save. And this is a really good round to come out from Nebula, right? This is a round where they can start potentially looking to stabilize their economy somewhat, some more. But something that does need to be pointed out is Dragon still hasn't used that Viper's Pit, right? This is becoming extremely problematic in my eyes, because this is just completely inefficient ult usage, right? You need to use some of your initiative, right? And you need to try to get those ultimates down to secure some rounds. There's a world where that Viper's Pit wins a round, maybe, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 rounds ago, right? But we don't know that because he isn't even attempting to do it. There is also a Hunter's Fury available. That just came up, though. This was 7 rounds in, and that Hunter's Fury just came up. And that's purely for the fact that Suave isn't farming those ult orbs, and he isn't getting many kills. And I'm not saying that to, like, be toxic or whatnot. It's just the reality, like, the fact of the situation, right? His Hunter's Fury has just come up 7 rounds in. This is just not what you want to be looking at right now. Dragon, you need to use that Viper's Pit. There's a world where you want to round off of that for free. And it looks like they are going to be going towards Sneaks' site yet again. The weak link of Dynasty, and let's see if he can potentially hold it down for 1 round at least in this half.
Oh man, you said no cap, but that dude be sounding like cap to me. Nebula, all 5 players going on. Keto onto his old tactics, and Rose doesn't check the corner.
What?
Suave finally will look. Sneaks holds it down indeed for 2. The last 3 players of Nebula, they're trying to aggress onto the side. The trap wires from Nameless catches out Jesse from heaven. Everything's falling apart right now. Keto on the flank will catch out Minimize at this rate. You have to land the kill. Minimize is paranoid. He still gets the kill, but Nameless cleans up with 3 kills going his way. Nebula, they fall like a sack of bricks in the river. And Dynasty, oh gosh, they're running away, Crash. They are taking this game away.
I hate watching this. This is so sloppy. He's just walking with his knife out. He's not even bothering to check the angles. He's just assuming, alright, look, Sneaks has played on the site every single round, so he has no reason to play in that off angle, right? Regardless of the situation, you need to be checking your off angles, because look what exactly happened right there. He managed to get 2 kills for free, completely untraded. He survived the whole round purely because it was just lack of corner checking, right? It was just very lazy around those angles. Those are the little things that you're going to lose rounds over. And we just saw they lost a pretty, like, a potentially free round. Right? They would have gotten that site for free if they just checked that corner. There's a world where they just go 1 for 1 and boom, they get the site. And then it's potentially an easy post plant from that point onwards. But Jesse's looking to fly in already. Nacho's down the short. Sneak is playing on site again though. But he's the one man that really needs to be able to win this round for the side of Dynasty here though. But
oh no.
I can wait. Here we go.
The utility usage was good. Big Fella was the first player to go down. There goes the Viper's Pit that you wanted to see so much. Sneaks is gone. Nebula, 5 players alive. Shot darts away. Minimize, planting in a very unorthodox angle. Granted, you see it sometimes, but not quite often at this level in OCE. Keto trying to spot out Suave. Indeed he does. That's an easy kill. Suave's head was just sticking over the corner. Minimize for a double kill at this point. Keto still hanging above sights. I'm surprised those legs aren't revealed just yet. We'll get spotted out. Keto getting yet another kill. Blade Storms are invested and diving straight into deep. There's that minus 50 HP debuff. Lucix walks right in, and he himself still on the operator, looking to save this point. He's taking shots, and away he runs.
I think I think Rose is Astra. I don't know what that abilities look. I'm gonna go to Astra just to hold F1. The gravity well, right?
Yeah.
I think he put down a gravity well on top of Jesse, and Jesse was completely spinning just completely spinning in the gravity well as Keto was pushing into him. Right? That's just completely funny. I don't know if you caught that, but I think that's what the case was. That just, I don't know. That caught me off guard there. But it's good that we're seeing the ultimates get used to secure the round. Their Dragon put down that Viper's Pit, and it made it so hard to retake. There's so many different angles you have to play around, and as soon as you go into that Viper's Pit, you're losing 50 health. So that was basically the win condition for that round, and it turned out really well. So there's also a world where he's almost coming up to his second Viper's Pit because he would have burnt it earlier in the game. Now he's at 0 out of 7. It's very unlikely he gets another Viper's Pit down unless he goes completely insane for the rest of these 3 rounds. But the good thing is, there are 4 ultimates on the side of Nebula.
4 ultimates indeed. Jesse going really aggressive. Sneaks. He will reveal his position briefly, but now there's 3 players actually of Dynasty holding down the A side, expecting Nebula to go A again. What was it, like 3 rounds in a row previously? This time it will be Lu6 to pump out a recon arrow or spot out rolls in the Cosmic Astral meditation form. And just waiting to get a pick at this rate. Minimize with the wide swing. Lu6 misses the shot. Cosmic divide. And Lu6, he's holding down the angle. We're getting a pick onto Jesse through the box jellyfish ult thing. Lu6, he's stunned. He's stunned in spot. Suave, that's the easiest kill of his life. And flashes through as well. Just confirmed that there's no one holding around the angle towards Garage. Lu6 even hits the mid. That is sick. But Keto on another look again. How does he keep getting this? There are no sentinels to lock down their flanks. That's the last 2 players of Nebula. They're falling one at a time, and this is just disastrous. They had the right idea. That was a sick lineup, but everything fell apart.
I could be wrong, but I think Lu6 with that one op shot managed to tag 2 others. I saw Dragon basically on 1 HP, and I saw Rel's very low after that op shot went off.
I'm pretty sure he did.
He may have gotten a potential call out there, or like an insane amount of damage. That right there just blew my mind as soon as I saw the HUD up the top, knowing that they got an insane amount of damage off. And this is, I mean, the cracks are starting to show right now. Nebula's just playing extremely sloppy right now, and it's also off the back of 2 of the members not really performing right now. Alongside Dragon, I feel like it's potentially playing a bit of a suboptimal Viper here. So it's one of those things where it's like, you want to pick up this agent because you know it can be extremely strong on this map, or all maps, right? But it's a matter of really investing time into this agent. Just because they've made her really strong on paper doesn't mean you don't have to invest a bunch of time to learn her.
Minimize, great initial frag onto Keto with the Frenzy. Looking for more at this point, and there you go. There is the Viper utility. I'm not sure if it damages Minimize too much, though. Dragon wants a big fella. Nebula, they're starting to get all the kills this round, on the and from a slow play by Jesse, catches out Sneaks. But time again, Dynasty, they've pulled themselves out of secure situations. They could do this again, but this is a huge utility stack. And Lu6, he's scared for his life right now. He gets sucked into the snake bite. He has to escape for dear life now. This is hilarious to see, to say the very least. And Lu6 takes a hit off of Rolls, Nameless onto Suave, but that shot, and now plus the Showstopper, that should be able to finish the job. Nameless by himself now, 1v3. He's gonna have to go for the eco. Doesn't even save the operator, unfortunately. That's $5,000. He probably can't afford to lose, but nonetheless, they have a 4-round buffer of Crash. I think they'll be okay.
Alright, I think I'm seeing how they want to play this comp now, right? You see that B post plant? They just played hard off site. Look at the amount of denial utility that they had available to them, right? You can see in the chat, I don't know if stream can see that there, but the side of Dynasty is just completely freaking out. They have no idea how they're meant to defuse that.
Exactly.
All that denial util coming out, right? I think that's basically how you want to play this comp, and I think going B potentially more rounds would, or C more rounds would have been more favorable if you want to play that off-site post plant. You don't really have that luxury on A if you're not running something like a Brimstone, right? Because he has that orbital strike and that molly that can also be used instead of an Astra, right? There's just potentially a couple more things that they could be doing a bit different. I think B and C are potentially like the strong suits of this comp there, but it is looking like it's going to be another A hit, so we'll see if it does work out for them in the end.
Well, Minimize utility once again. Sneaks, good luck. Trailblazer comes out. Tasmanian Tiger will spot out a few players. And by big fella, that's one hell of a leap. Sneaks is going to be alone on site. Keto with the operator shot blind. And Nebula, the dash onto the side. The tripwire will reveal one player. Big fella's running wall bang through. He can't do that just yet. But Sneaks is still on site, uncontested. That Viper will hide his positioning for now. Nebula, they've been cleared hell. Rolls, he's going to go again. Now, balls deep and without a single gun now. Had the knives out with 1-for-1 trades. Nebula, post-plant situation. And it's still trading 1-for-1. Dynasty, Keto, great shot to Jesse, who was trying to blast back, take his way out of there. Nameless clearing the angle, Swap by himself, flexing down 2 players. Dragon, out of utility now, maybe used his last snake bite to deny the defuse. Suave taking down yet another player, 2v1 now. Keto, by himself, has to clutch this situation out, checking the wrong angle. Dragon, a sliver of HP, comes out on top.
Well, there you have it. I mean, they managed to get onto that site. It was a little bit sloppy. Rules yet again dying for free just because he decided not to check his corners correctly, pulling out his knife as soon and just running into hell. Completely blind, not even worrying about the potential possibility of there being a player there. This is where Viper gets really interesting, right? I'd say our defense is a lot better now, and it's probably the strong side of us. So I'm curious to see how Dragon does position this wall there. Generally, what I'd think is you probably just place it from B, and you can cover off B plus Suez and A long to completely stop the push. I'm literally just spectating him right now because I want to see what he does, because I'd also like some ideas, you know, going into my games.
Of course.
He is,
because I think you actually play Viper quite a lot, right?
This is my favorite agent.
Wow.
But alright, this is interesting. So he isn't using the wall, which I find interesting at least. But it looks like the read is pretty cool, but absolutely no way they push through this, right?
It's just, it's death sentence if they do. They're sitting outside waiting for the utility to expire, and the wolf is just leaping to its death. Maybe able to tag a few players up slightly. It does damage, but not too much though. Suave, that shock dart is good. It does damage to 3 players, and this is just a hailstorm of bullets right now. Back and forth, it's bloody chaos. Dragon picks up yet another player, but sneaks with the frenzy. Finally, by himself, 1v2, 1v3. I take it back. He's on 3 kills for crying out loud. He's on for the ace. 4 for him. 1v1 versus Astra. He can get off the B sites because little does he know, him and Rolls are playing ring around the Rosie. His back is exposed, but the timing. Rolls has no idea where Sneaks is.
I don't think he saw.
Oh no, he did not see at all. Sneaks, he's on the C side. Rolls definitely has to know. But the problem is Sneaks, he's in the corner, and Rolls guaranteed knows where Sneaks is playing. But the Frenzy might have the advantage in this situation. Camera, no way. Rolls going for the play now. He will get spotted out. Sneaks sees him. What are you doing, Sneaks? Oh no! I don't think he actually saw Rolls at the end of the day. He saw something, but he hesitated. And Rolls just had the best angle onto Sneaks. 2 killing clean shots to the head. That was almost an ace. It just didn't happen. Ugh. You hate to see it.
At least the good thing from Dynasty is the fact they realize the one real counter to Viper right now, outside of shooting a silver dart in like her pit, right? It's the fact that you can just wait out a gas. It's a limited amount, and you have to recharge. So they stood behind that. They stood behind that poison orb, and they just decided to wait instead, right? They got onto the site, but the only issue is they completely got mopped up because of that like 3 stack. They completely left A open. They did not care. They pulled the rotations. They were so confident in the call, and it worked out really well in the end. Outside of that, Seeks a bit of bunch of heroics from him there, almost winning that round completely. And it does seem we're going to be seeing the go A, fake A, I'll go plant C strat.
Seems like it, and it has worked out pretty well so far. Everyone from Nebula going to the A site. Minimize about to mop up down a few players. Swap for 2, minimize for another. They're just farming ultimate points at this point. Keto does make his way onto the C sites, and that Astra util even gets recalled. Keto, a classic. Some damage is all he can hope for at this point, but one man versus the world? It's looking unlikely, but anyways, Minimize about to round the corner. Keto holding point blank with the classic. A single right click might do the job, but Minimize running spray and pray finishes the job. Pulled out the knife in the last second, but flawless round coming out from Nebula.
This is really good, by the way, because Minimize is going to have his ult going into the first buy round of the whole entire time. So, well, going into the buy round for Dynasty. So this could be extremely interesting to see how they do decide to play it. There's a world where they do an extremely aggressive play to try to confirm numbers early in the round and force them to hit either A or C. Because you can just use that. I don't even, what is it called? The Seekers. Man, this guy just isn't picked enough. I don't know these ability names.
It's box jellyfish as well, in case you're wondering what they are.
Box jellyfish.
Yes.
Okay. That's alright. That's just another animal. For me at least. Yeah, the Seekers coming out, you basically can just confirm the numbers. I'm still curious to see how Dragon wants to play this. I don't think he's used his wall at all, but I guess he doesn't think he really needs to use it. I can understand that. It's potentially just going to be one of those things where you use it more for a retake more than anything, instead of just using the wall early to try to potentially deny a push. But it does seem we are going to be seeing a heavy G-Stack coming out from the side of Nebula to start off the round.
Yeah, Nameless. He took a few shots to the head that round to Minimize. He's invested in this. He wants to get the kill, but bear in mind, Crash, you said earlier, Minimize is the only place to have the ultimate, and this is a risky challenge. Nameless almost landing that headshot. Paranoid to come out early on, and will force Nebula, Jesse, to invest his paint shells as well. That's so much utility being wasted all towards Garage. Well, I won't say wasted, but it's being used early on, while Nebula, all 5 players, are about to group up and go for the A take. And A is being left alone right now.
Here's the thing from Nameless, right? All he wanted to do there was create noise and burn util, and look what he did. He got that completely from them. Right? Suave is going to be coming in. He's potentially going to be able to get a spam kill with the areas if they don't break the dart in time. They do break the dart there. Shock dart will be used. I don't really think it's going to be doing much though, unfortunately. And as the retake will come on, the Seekers should get deployed here, right? That's the thing that makes the most logical sense. If that's not going to be the case, I'll be very surprised. We should be seeing them, otherwise I'm going to be very concerned.
I would assume they don't see a
Here we
pointer?
are. I think they're holding it. No, what is going on?
Memos, he's on it. Oh, the Seekers, you're right. It gets deployed and it's swarming to the side. It's a bloody chaos. Flashes everywhere. Dragon getting these kills and he goes for 2. Right now, Swab sprays down another player with the Ares. The last 2 players of Nameless are still alive. Nameless TP's on the side. Gets the spike diffuser, but everyone was there watching. Minimize. Dragon spins around, ends around with a 3K, and Nebula, they take the lead now by 1 round.
Right, Dragon, I hope to God you used your ultimate in this round, right? You've just got it online. Please use it. Please use it. Don't make this a 1 per half thing. Make sure you're trying to use this as much as possible. I beg you, man. Like, your util is so strong right now. Just decide to put it down on the site, and you're basically saying that they can't get onto that site unless they want to push into you. You gotta walk into someone who's got an extremely cracked aim, alongside having a really strong ultimate now. Maybe next round would be the time to use it, because it is going to be an eco coming out. So I can understand not using it this round. Good to see the Seekers get used as well, to basically confirm that retake. That was a really strong retake as well. Their Seekers just completely threw them off. You're either forced to break them, or you're going to get stunned. And if you get stunned, you're probably not winning the Angel you're about to take.
Plus, the Seekers, it just creates more bodies and more objects on like on your screen when you go for the retake. So it's bloody chaos. But Keto starting off strong. Dragon, he gets taken out. So there goes your hopes and dreams. Thankfully, though, Nebula and Jesse and Minimize, they trade another 2 players as retribution. Nameless. He's already out of the equation, but Minimize. Oh,
God,
dear. Good for 1, and Sneaks gets another kill. It's all down to the last player. Sneaks now by himself. He almost aced in the previous few rounds. Spike isn't in his hands just yet, but he wants the kills. Maybe one more to Swab. He does. This guy's still full HP for crying out loud. Has a Guardian to work with. Tags another player. My God, Crash. This guy is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, he's confirmed one of the players' locations, so at this point, that's
huge. Everything.
That's huge. And he gets a Vandal as well.
Oh, but the reload.
Oh, the timing.
No!
Oh, you had 22 bullets. Why are you reloading that? You're giving them a time to swing on you. That's just really unfortunate timing as well, though, but also, you don't need a reload there, right? You've got enough bullets. I feel like at that point you should trust yourself to be able to get 2 kills with 22 bullets with the Vandal. But what do I know? I'm not a pro player, so don't know everything. But regardless, it was a really good effort. That was an eco round, by the way. And they managed to get 3 kills. I'd say that's pretty worth in the end. Nameless is also one of his ultimates, so he's probably just going to go look for a fight here to try to get that, what is it? From the shadows, right? To try to get that from the shadows, try to get some value out of it. But it does look like we might be seeing a little bit of an aggressive mid push coming out.
Still poking and prodding, the same story as before. Minimize. He's trying to hold the angle. Oh, but Jesse gets taken out. That's a huge player. Already gone from the equation. Dynasty Esports Club, they have a man advantage. And there you go. There's actually the Viper Spit being deployed on the A side. Over towards A short, though. So that basically does confirm that no one will be entered there. Dynasty, they have Sova alive. And they have flashpoints on Breach. It still may be problematic for Dragon to play with. Thankfully, this does confirm to an extent that Dynasty, they won't be going over towards A site. And Keto, oh gosh, this guy's is a ninja of this game. It doesn't matter, but Swab gets the flick anyways.
Well, there you go. Don't check your corners because you win the Angels anyway. So that's a lesson to take away from that engagement there. But regardless of that, I mean, it's just I don't know what to say. Swab's doing that as well. It's just very lazy. These are like the very tiny details that could completely turn around on its head. But good game to potentially assume that he could have been pushed up there. And Sneaks is going to be able to win a pretty close fight on the Dragon. And for some reason, Dragon's pushing up on his Viper's pits down. So now this A side's going to be free for taking, but the shock dart light could potentially be huge. Oh, they're planting default. I'm going to follow this one. What is this? What is that?
Oh, no, not like this, man. He might lose his life either. It's okay. Whoever needs utility, we can win the Angels.
Oh, no.
Lucix gets taken out. There's only 2 players left standing currently. And Crash, I do think the retake is very much possible.
Oh, wait, hold up.
Oh, big fella. Oh, good for 1, maybe more, but he's no ammo left in the magazine. Resorting to a classic. He may get the kill into Minimize. 3 HP, he's still going for the challenge. Oh, this is brutal. Rolls now with the smoke, and it covers off Sneaks. Wait, it wasn't smoke. What was that, actually? A gravity well? I'm not too sure. Big fella, 1v1. Both players are full HP, but Rolls, he could stick this. He could stick this.
Oh, no time.
Oh, no.
That's so unlucky.
0.55. I think he would have been able to defuse if he stuck all the way, right?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. Maybe, but there's a world where he dies at the same time, right? So I can't. Yeah. I have absolutely no idea.
Well, honestly,
yeah. Regardless, I mean, look at this. They have Seekers available again. They're gonna be playing that retake A 100%, and there's also one off that Astral Barrier, or whatever the Astral is, because she's also new, and I don't know her agent abilities for some reason.
Cosmic Divide.
So yeah, that's Cosmic Divide. There you go. So good tools available. We'll see how they decide to use them.
Keto, as you can see, as Jets do usually, using the Blade Storms, dashing up high, trying to get an early pick. So far, Dynasty playing very disciplined. They are a team in EVO, I know, but relatively new to the scene. They lost Purple Sherbet, who I, rate as a very good player, but regardless, they're doing very well for themselves currently. Granted, this is a unconventional setup from Nebula, so they may be having some trouble warming up to it. And Big Fella, the Spectre at range, whirls, gets taken down. Nebula, they've lost their Cosmic Divide, and all the Astra util, useless.
What is going on? They've just walked onto A and they've decided to push completely aggressively and just completely lose their lives. And I'm confused. Digital, what is going on? I don't know what's going on. He's just bunny hopping around and losing all his health.
Dynasty.
And running back to A. What is?
Oh my God! Sneaks. Truth's his name. Sneaks from behind. Takes down Swab. He could be playing in heaven angle. You might as well at that point. You have control, and he gives it up for his team. Dragon going aggressive, but he's Viper, not Jet. His main usually. Seekers have been deployed by Minimize. It won't catch a player out towards short. Oh, the Rolling Thunder as well invested just to delay the retake coming up from Nebula. Their two players are stunned, and it really is all down to Jesse from behind to try and get a kill. Nameless, he could almost have gotten that kill. He was 8 HP after all. Jesse gonna keep investing on this push. So far he's crossed the uncontested. Dragon with the great push, but Sneaks! Oh, this guy's popping off right now. Jesse by himself, he goes down 9-9. Dynasty, they are feeling it right now, Crash.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking really strong right now. 9-9, though, just coming out onto that attacker's half. I mean, that's just, I don't actually know how they managed to get 2 onto A for free, lose 1, completely neglect the fact that there could be another there because they haven't seen the Cypher the whole entire round. He comes around, flanks the guy in heaven, and that's the A Cypher taken. There's nothing they can do there.
Look, I think it goes back to the point that you were saying, Nebula's weak point in this composition. There are no Killjoys, there are no Cyphers. The hard lock down these angles. And as a result, that's what happens. People, they can just be patient and sneak onto sites. Dragon, same play, using the Poison Orb to deny mid control for now. And he's going for a push, I think.
I mean, he is looking to push down, doing the Keto special right now. His Minimize is going to be able to get out with his life, but the Hunter's Fury will get deployed.
Ooh.
Oh, he's going to make it out.
But his teammate got tagged. That's just unfortunate.
No. You hate to see it, don't you?
You do. Big Fella actually leaving the ult orb alone, but doesn't matter. Minimize. He pushed down A long by himself. Sneaks takes him out. Neural Theft as well. This is going to be problematic. Suave might be looking to lock down the sides. As you can see, 3 players aggressing on, and Dragon still sitting still. Good Poison Orb. Hunter's Fury from Suave himself, and might be able to catch a player, and that's great. Sneaks gets taken out. Nameless pushes the Poison Orb. Dragon on the kill.
C, look. He's just
time again. No Sentinel utility. Crash. This is what happens. I can't believe it.
This is ridiculous. This is blowing my mind. These guys, they know that they can get all these lurks because they don't have the Cypher or the Killjoy available, right? But the fact that they're getting lurks to this extent blows my mind. They completely fake one site. They get a guy to lurk up onto the other, and then boom, they're just like, alright, it's all good. We've managed to lose some players on the other side, but it doesn't matter.
On the bright side, they don't have a Viper Wall, but they still have the Cosmic Divide available. But Keto, not another Keto special. Again, this could be huge. His timing might work out in his favor. No one of Nebula is going towards Garage. Suave from A long. Keto. Oh, no. The timing worked out. Again, this guy's so lucky. Go buy a lottery ticket, man. 2-piece for him. Suave by himself. Limited utility to work with. 70 HP for crying out loud. Spots out Big Fella. And Big Fella the swing, the headshot, and the round win for Dynasty.
Well, there you go. They've taken the lead now in this second half as well, after going down a little bit in the start, after losing that piss round in 3 rounds afterwards there. Regardless, so they have bounced back pretty well, and I mean, Keter, Sneaks, and Nameless putting up some really big numbers right now. Big Fella and Lusix, obviously the support players, you don't need to rely on them to frag, but outside of that, you obviously want them to frag. Ikaran coming out here, I'm curious to see how they play it, but they are looked or poised to do a very heavy mid push here. So I'm curious to see if this potentially becomes an insane bloodbath at the very start of the round.
Astro utility is there. Lucix. Oh, that's a lot of shots fired. And that's not good for Nebula. Dynasty, they're just running up to C right now. No one, by the way, of Nebula is on C. They're going towards A! Crash, come on!
I don't know what's going on. I mean, they should know now, right?
Yeah,
they're gonna hit the
I hope so. Oh, Jesse, this could be huge. Boom shakalaka! That's a great combination with Astro utility. And they can't land the shots. Keto stashing around. Swap finally on the trade back. We're on even numbers right now. 3-on-3. Spike is down. And Rolls landing a hedge onto Lucix. It's happening. It's happening. The Sheriffs are winning. Nameless. And Sneaks, these two star players by themselves. Sounds into Sneaks 1v1. Whirls, you're landing headshots left, right, and center. Can you do it again? Can you do it again? This is the time. Oh. Perfect. But he misses the shot. 1v1. Sneaks goes for another reload, fakes it, and catches out Whirls. He does come out on top at the end of the day. I can't believe it, mate.
That was so costly, but at the same time, does it really matter? Look at their economy. They're so healthy. They can buy for this round. They can buy for the next, and probably the one after as well. So you pass, yes, you get 4 kills. That's really good damage. Rels does have his ultimate available. I'm curious to see if he potentially does opt to use that in potentially a retake. The only issue I'm seeing right now is the fact that they're just completely susceptible to all these lurks. I mean, I have no idea what they're doing to deal with that. They need to start like thinking quick because they're running away. Like Dynasty is completely running away with this half purely because they're exploiting the fact that they can get these lurks off for free because there's no passive ways to gather information. I mean, Wells, you know watch out, mate. They're pushing onto your side.
Oh, he gets the initial kill. Another smoke. That's perfect timing. I like how fast those things pop. Keto not available for the refrag. Sorry for the man advantage for Nebula. Nameless on the trade back. They are still down a player though, but these players of Dynasty, they're popping off. They're checking all their corners. Minimize is gone. They know probably where Whirls is. They're checking their corners. Oh, Nameless. Jesus, the 180 headshot. 3 kills for him this round. Nebula, their advantage is gone. Suave, Recon out available. It's all down to him now. Him, himself, and I. Suave, can you do it? Great start. Good start. Fantastic. But Sneaks was there to get the trade back. Match point.
I was believing that, I'll be honest. Sneaks though, making sure he is trading off his teammates. That's just good fundamentals you want to see right there. Outside of that, match point coming out, they're going to be able to buy. Nebula looks like, I mean, that is an absolutely disgusting, disjointed buy. That's not what you want to see in the final round. Rel still has his ultimate available. That's potentially a good sign. Minimizes one of his, Suave's one of his. There's a world where they can get some ultimates available and just pull this round together. It's going to be very interesting. Oh my goodness, Dragon has a Bucky on the Bucky nerf patch. I guess we'll find out how that goes.
Well, he's back on the Sheriff now, but Crash, you know, one thing I realized, I don't think we've seen a single Viper Wall this half.
Oh, you were correct, actually.
Jesse,
you're so right.
Long distance does take down Big Fella, so it's a good start, but their economy is still bad, and it's match point for Dynasty. Look at how slow they're playing now.
Yeah, then the man down, so they have to play slow, right? At this point, you want to try to either just bum rush the site, or you just pray that your opponents make a big mistake that you can capitalize on. And you're playing really passive though, because they know they need to play passive because they need to be worried about those lurks. The orb is going to go down, and that's going to be their cue to push onto the site. As I said before, that's the only real way to counter Viper. They're not even looking to check. I thought they would have potentially been a timing onto Dragon there, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I have no idea what's going on right now.
Trades back and forth. Suave onto Nameless. He's still fighting for his life. The Hunter's Fury is available, but he double pings. Gets 2! Suave is gone. Who's right now? Dennis Sneaks in a 1v4. I don't think it's possible. It's match point regardless. Dragon second in defuse. Sneaks, you gotta shoot. Start shooting now, man. And Rolls gets the shot through the smoke onto the Tracers. Holy crap. Suave just went atomic for Nebula.
That's such a pop-off from Suave. That's such an insane transfer with the Vandal as well. Generally, you like seeing a lot of those transfers with the Phantom because that does have that easier spray pattern. But I mean, okay, that gave me some hope. That probably gave some life into the comms as well. A really nice retake as well and a very shoddy buy. Something you need to note as well is look at the money now. If Nebula wins this round, Dynasty is going to be on a very broke buy. So there's a world where they get into that overtime situation purely due to the fact that they could break the economy this round.
Maybe, and you know, one thing I really also realized about Nebula, they're always the team to manage to pull it to come through in overtime. Same thing goes for Direwolves. They always have a rough start, but in overtime they somehow manage to win out. It's just a thing I've noticed, I think, right? But Nebula,
just overtime players.
Yeah, probably. It wakes them up and it's the pressure on them.
Yeah, preferring the pressure potentially. Really just like aggressive start from Nebula. They've decided to put so much utility towards this A site. And look, they've already decided to rotate 2 players over towards C. They're going to be leaving Jesse all the way on this A site by himself. This could potentially backfire though. Nameless is going to be on the lurk. He does have the From the Shadows, so this is completely fine. The one thing you need to keep in mind with this is the fact that he will not have Paranoia if he is going to be committing to this lurk. So on the fight take, they will not have Paranoia if he is committing to this. Outside of that, a bit of a 2-1-2 coming out. I have no idea how this round's going to end. I'm assuming they want to make a lot of noise, and they're potentially pulling the rotates
It's
yet
working!
again.
Oh no, Crash, this is disastrous. Dragon as well, poised to fire off of the snake bites, and Jesse's like, hang on, where's everyone gone? Now, while they rotate over and there's plants about to go down the seaside, I just want to say one thing. Regarding pressure, right, it's actually a fact that when you are busting to go pee, and if you do something, it makes you like much more accurate and like more focused on doing it, because you have this pressure building inside you. It's a fun fact. You should try it sometime. I don't guarantee it, but nonetheless. Swab, Hunter's Fury, already tagging down Big Fella, might actually land the kill. Big Fella ran into that, actually. Recon Arrow is available. Nebula, they're getting the kills, and Cosmic Divide finally comes out. That bird is just... Oh, Nameless! That was almost huge, but there's no time left for the spike to be planted. Keto will dump it down, but this is brutal. He's exposed. Suave over with the wall bang. He sees the elbow. Down to Lucix by himself. He can't even shoot through the damn thing. What the run for his life. Dragon chases him up. Nebula. It's happening, dude. It's happening. The economy for Dynasty. It's... Okay, I was gonna say it's broken, but it's actually pretty good right now. So it could potentially be overtime because they have 4 ultimates. Well, no, it won't be overtime. They have 4 ultimates. That's the problem, Crash.
I mean, they did manage to get that. They didn't actually get the spike down. Excuse me. They have 4 ultimates. They're all gonna have rifles. Keter is probably gonna be popping that Blade Storm and looking for a Guardian. Yep, there's the Guardian purchase. Dragon is just going to be able to completely zone them off this B site, which is really good here, right? You force them to go towards either A or C. That's just perfect. That's basically how you want to play the game, right? That's how you want to play this map. And look, we're already seeing a sewers push. If they get this pick, that's potentially overtime secured right there, because they know that they only have to go A or C. But here you go. Rules on the other side of that smoke, just completely just dropping the stars, making sure they don't really have a way to push. How is Keto in this position?
My god. Well, it doesn't matter because Swap is there to pick up the kills. And the Rolling Thunder early on by a Big Fella as he picked up that ult orb. I'm sure you're very happy about it. And Rill's holding this angle. So, Big Fella shooting through the smoke, but Rill's managing to get the kills. Lucix, the trade back, but Swab, he could pop off. Unfortunately, gets blinded. Sneaks for 2. Now, that's huge coming out from Dynasty. 2-on-2. The numbers are all tied up. We could be seeing overtime or potentially the round win here and right now. The Hunter's Fury is available on one of the players, and it could potentially just play off-site and play the post-plant. Dragon, that's the first Viper wall we've seen. There you go. And Jesse's pushing on now. The Viper's wall is going to cut the site in half completely. Sneaks, his barrel is exposed. Jesse has to land this shot, but no, there's 2 players now. Dragon goes down. This could be GG. Jesse, go huge for your team. 1v1. Jesse comes out on top. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be overtime. Crash, let's get it.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is a very close game, but I feel like it should be a potentially more one-sided in favor of either of these teams. There's just so many sloppy little mistakes coming out. They're being punished for it, and they've only realized now, when the game is already this close. I have no idea how this overtime is going to play out. I feel like it's going to be very explosive. You need to do things that are going to catch your opponent off guard, right? We haven't seen Nebula play this attacker side for a while, considering they've been on that defender side. So I'm curious to see how they want to approach this. They had some very interesting plays coming out. They managed to get Sewers and A-Long control for free basically every single round. And also on the other side, I want to see if Keto can just manage to get down low and mid again. He's basically been able to get that position for free every single round. Up until the point where they started to invest Swab's utility, the Aldrone early on, to just completely deny him of that. So this could be very, very interesting. I want to know what happens. Keto is already playing on that B side. Absolutely no way he walks down, right? No, they're going to be poised to hold this position. They're not going to be looking to push, as it does seem to be that they are going to look to take this A-Long and Sewers control yet again.
Keto, he's pushing down mid. He does get revealed, fortunately. Lucix does them on the push. Oh man, Rolls, that's just brutal. Every single time he's getting caught with his pants down. And Lucix, that was a free kill. Nebula, this is overtime. They're already down a player. A crossfire setup now. That Tasmanian Tiger will spot out 1 player, but Sneaks, he's holding a crossfire potentially with Big Fella. Big Fella may have spotted out the barrel of Jesse, but if Jesse manages to walk onto site, he will have met his end with Sneaks hiding in the corner. Nebula trying to work over to A, but no rotations out from Dynasty just yet.
I just want to talk about Rels there. Like, I have no idea what he's trying to accomplish. He's just completely standing in the open. He decides to hop into his astral form with no one to cover him.
Oh,
That is the unfortunate timing. I mean, there you go, minimize down out of the round, and Jesse, I mean, the same probably gonna happen to him, and there you go, 2v5. I have no idea how they're gonna win this. Keto with another. Let's get traded, and there you go, Dragon 1v4. Are we gonna see it digital?
30 seconds left.
I hope so. It's possible because Viper utility, like you mentioned, it's very powerful. If he can somehow lock off the defenders, that's a great pick initially, and he knows that the second person already hot on his heels. Lose6 will have to hold slow in case Dragon is holding around the corner. There's a shock dart coming out, and it's playing default as well. He has to eat that shock dart, almost eating a second. Thankfully, he missed though. The Viper wall, the Viper spin. Dragon, he has it. He has to use it. Crash! No! Oh no! He's gonna go for the double peek, and he gets swung. Dynasty, they take the round handily. Dragon, what happened? That would have been a huge debuff to the attackers. Minus 50 HP instantaneously. No one has armor going to the challenge against you, and it will be 13-12 going away of Nebula. Dynasty.
Look, in the back of his head, I can probably see the scenario where it's like he needs to swing backside at the start because there was a world where they pushed backside whilst he's going for the plant, right? But after you confirm that there was no one backside, you go back to default, you just pop the Viper's bit. If they push you from garage, you should probably have enough time to reposition whilst they're pushing out. I don't think you're going to be like in that stasis of like pulling out the ultimate. And just like, I don't know, you're probably not going to get a shot there. I highly doubt to see that happen, but I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe
it's because Dragon. I think it's because Dragon. He's too used to playing Jet. He played Jet for basically 9 hours today. Now he's on Viper. He's like, what is this character? Maybe.
Yeah, look. I don't know. I just feel like this could be played so much better. The wall just not being used early either. There's so many rounds where you can just drop that wall early to completely stop a push. But we're not seeing it, and we saw it in one retake. There you go, it does get an opening though, so that's a really good start. It's going to be low though. Does have the wall and 2 mollies available, so the full kit is there for him. I'm curious to see how he does use it going into the rest of this round, but it does look like Dynasty is going to be looking to hit this A site in the end.
They're moving, indeed, over to the A side from Sewers. A rotation out from Minimize to help out Suave. Suave is in the corner. That Tasmanian target has to spot out Sewers right now. It won't spot any players. It just goes to death. But it does stun a few players, so that's good. But Suave is still sitting in the corner. I'm pretty sure they're checking this angle now.
No
Minimize
way, right?
with the flash. Oh, not that it matters because Suave missed the shots and sneaks with the 180. Nameless takes down Minimize. Side has been taken. This could be done and dusted. Crash. The plant was at default. Lose6, he will get fragile, but he will commit to sticking the plant. And 4v3 post-plant situation. The wall, thankfully, hasn't been invested just yet. Jesse has the paint shells. It's possible. It's possible. It won't be easy.
Rose is just so late on the rotation though. This retake is already being delayed for like 10 seconds and they haven't even done anything yet purely because of that rotation being so late. I have no idea how this retake is going to go down there, but the Astral Stars are being put down and Dragon needs to go huge here.
Dragon, he doesn't go huge. Sneaks will take them down. Jesse on the trade back. 1v2 to 1v2 literally right now. Jesse by himself. He has the paint shells again. Showstopper. This could be it. Blindly shoots it. Takes out Lose6. And if he died from the full damage, I would have laughed my ass off. And ladies and gentlemen, overtime part 2. He gets it right.
Shout out to Val observing because I have no idea what just happened and I can't just pull up a second camera to show what just happened. But apparently they won the round, so that's always a good sign. Second overtime coming out. They're going to be going back onto that attacking side. Okay, I just need to say right now, Rolls got caught off with his pants down basically. He just stood in the open in his astral form, was completely unaware of the possibility that someone's pushing down C. Those are the little mistakes that are costing them rounds. If they just patch that up, they just talk about that. If he realizes after that happens that like, hey, I can't do this again, it's going to be a completely different scenario coming out from them. Though he is poised to that C position. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake though, because that could be very costly.
Early smoke towards B, and will prevent a potential push to come out from the defense, but you know, it never stops Keto. He's eyeballing it, he's thinking about it. We'll trade places with the Owl Drone. He hasn't been spotted just yet. This could potentially be huge going his way. Suave. Oh, does win out the Julie of the day, and plus there's a Sky heal there coming his way as well.
You want to see the heal? There you go. That's why Sky's a good agent, by the way. She can heal, she can flash, and she has a drone, guys. She has a really good retake ult as well. Please stop playing with Sky. She's really OP, but no one wants to play her. I have no idea. She's got so much in her kit. I guess it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to play the agent. because it actually takes a bit of effort to learn, you know, when you prefer to play those clumper picks. Look at the amount of value you can get out of that. Your teammate just took a fight and you've brought them back to full, and you also have flashes available, and you have that drone. Just... Oh man, I wish my team's played Skye. She's really good, but no one wants to play her.
I'm pretty sure it's just because as well, it takes a good team to play with her utility to an extent. But anyways, Jesse, blast back on top, sneaks. I can't believe he's still alive. So holding down this angle, he's being so patient. This is great. Misses the shot though. Rolls wins the engagement. End of the day, Nebula, they're looking good now in overtime part 2, the first round. 5 players standing. The retake has to come out, and big fella, aftershock, fault line, and 1 flash to work with. His team has to play off of this huge right now. Suave holding the angle, will get it revealed. Doesn't matter because he might actually get the kills at the end of the day. Juking around, misses. Nameless gets the kill. They are still down a player. They have to deal with 4 more players of Nebula, and that nerd lineup, my god, that's huge. Plus the suck as well from Gravity. Well, big fella goes down. It's all down to the last player. Lusix by himself, 1v4. I don't think it's going to happen. He has utility, but Jesse peeking up above using the movement tech. Rolls was the man to finish the job. 14-13. Nebula, they're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, Crash.
Here's another little detail that I do want to point out, right? Going into that retake, Nameless decided to use his paranoia before his team was even ready to go into that retake. They were smirked off towards CT, and he threw out his paranoia, thinking that his team was going to push it, when there wasn't an opportunity or that window that he needed. So that piece of retake utility was burned early with absolutely 0 value behind it. As soon as I saw that happen, I basically knew that that retake wasn't going to work. It just looked extremely sloppy from that point onwards. That's something that you need to make sure when you're playing retake that you are using your utility optimally, right? You're not going to be able to get onto that site otherwise. It's just not going to happen. Okay, that is interesting. I'm so happy I caught that. That is interesting. That's a cool dart.
That's crazy. It hit nothing. And also, a fun fact, Crash, did you know right now that Astra is still banned?
Wait, why?
I'm not too sure. I just got a DM from an admin saying Astra is still banned currently for LPL. Well, nonetheless, we're already this far in the game. It's freaking double OT. They might as well play it out and see what happens. Big fella on engagement with Rolls again. No one dies this time.
Look at this. Wait, okay, never mind. Jesse's pushing. There's too much going on. I wanted to talk about something.
They're on A. They're on A.
Look at Suave's position. They know that they like to lurk onto A so much, so he's just going to be playing this back angle and just waiting for them to walk into his crosshair. Keto, you've done this before, mate. Learn from your mistakes. If you don't, yeah, all right. Well, oh my goodness.
He's aware! Suave is aware!
Suave is just better. That's the thing. They're just allowing them to walk into his crosshair. They're punishing them for this really basic play. It got them so many rounds before there, but now that they're at least switched on and they are aware of this possibility, they're countering it perfectly. And these are the adjustments you need to be making in these pro games, right? If you're not making these tiny little adjustments, you're not going to be winning these games. This is really good to see from Nebula.
Oh, Lusix getting damaged slightly by the shock dart, and currently Suave is in heaven trying to lock the last few players down on the site. Don't let them escape. They have a late player joining them from Silvers though. But 4v3 retake, this could be Nebula's game to take at this point. Big fella, first one on engagement. Lusix running through, turns his back towards the enemy. It's a paranoia, blinds most of the players. Great timing with it. The spike is sticking down further and further away. Nebula, they have to get a move on right now before the spike explodes. Verl's first one on engagement gets a kill. Instant trade back from Nameless. Big fella onto Jesse. And the players, they're falling one at a time for Nebula. Nameless by himself and minimize. Oh my god, I thought he was blinded himself for a moment there. I think he was. But the defense to come through. Suave, does he have it? Oh! Crash! The sucks, man.
Overtime. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Nah, but for real, I mean, that it was just the fact that that retake was so late. Like, they just decided to stall for so long. I have no idea what piece of utility that they were waiting on there. But look, they didn't have enough time in the end. They played it well. That was a good retake. They just needed to like snap their fingers and execute a little bit early. So yeah, there you go. Triple overtime on Haven when apparently Astra's banned. So I have no idea if this game's even going to get counted in the long run. Though that could be potentially interesting to see later.
You know, the thing is as well, Nameless with that paranoia, the timing was perfect. It bought them just enough time.
That was really good. You see, that's when you use your utility correctly and you get insane amounts of value. That completely halted that retake for that split second, or there's a couple of seconds where they were blind. They knew that they couldn't move.
That's brutal. Well, sides are switched again. Nebula, they're leaving a spike towards attacker spawn, and they're starting to aggress towards the B side, maybe. Try to get some aggression. Fake TPs to come out from Nameless. Nebula, they don't really react to it, and it's just lurking all the way around the map. Thankfully, C side is alone.
There's just so much going on right now. Like, there's just... Okay, this has been observing Nightmare, by the way. There's too much stuff happening on the map at once, so this is where you start to miss kills. Minimize potentially going to get a timing. Oh, this could actually be huge. Minimize can just auto-win this round, just from this position to learn, but Big Fella is going to be walking into it. The timing isn't there. Their does manage to take him out, and it looks like I guess the switch is going to get flipped, and they are going to be pushing onto the A side.
Keto will land one. Notice there's more towards the angle. Minimize takes down Sneaks. The pinch is on. A side is open. Nebula, they're swarming on right now. Just the last 2 players of Dynasty. I'm not saying that this retake is impossible, but hey, it's doable. Nameless.
Right,
He's still popping off.
Please. Just use your paranoia before you act like this would make your life so much easier. The only issue right now is the Astral Stars are really going to stall them. I mean, they've confirmed that one's towards CT. They probably know both there. That is just... This is really good Astral usage.
Oh, like, the gravity well as well.
Play this agent like a sentinel. Like, look at this. Like, what do you do?
Nameless, this one wants a sight. Rolls good for 1, and yet another finishes off. Nameless takes down Jesse, but Nebula... They're starting to get a small lead now. This is triple OT, 15-14. It could be possible. And finally, we may see an end to Haven, but Crash, I can't believe it's come to triple OT. What on earth?
It's just these little mistakes. That's all I'm saying. Like, if they watch this VOD back, they're gonna see all these little mistakes that they were making. These are so easy to fix as well from like a team standpoint and just kind of like I'd say like a coaching standpoint, right? If you have someone telling your guys basically like, hey, stop doing this and do that, like do XYZ, right? There would have been so many rounds that could have like easily gone to eat the team. There are 4 Astral Stars on this site, by the way. I have no idea what's going on, to be honest.
Well, it's perfect because Dynasty, they're going over to him. Royal's going to have puppy utility right now. He's staying on side, but we'll get taken down. Perfect flash and dash from Keto. Dynasty, we could be seeing a quadruple overtime Crash. I can't believe it right now. Dragon catches Nameless on the flank, and Big Fella is revealed to him as well. 2 clean headshots. Nebula, this could be done and dusted. Finally, the Viper ult to come out. Sneaks, he's got to go huge. Maybe Lucix as well. In fact, everyone on the team of Dynasty have to go huge in order to bring it into OT again. They're starting to swarm through, and the shots fire blindly through. 3 players chancing with the boom bite. A snake bite from Dragon, all down to Keto by himself. I think it's done and dusted now at this point. And finally, the Viper spit just for good measure. Recon arrow, finished off by Suave. Nebula, they finally take map 1. 16-14.
We're out. A little bit longer than anticipated. I thought it was going to be a bit of a quicker game than go into 3 overtime. So look, we are done in the end. That's only map 1, by the way. That's something you also do need to consider. Regardless of that, I don't know. I guess Viper and Haven's not something you really see every day, so there's a lot of fine-tuning that's probably going to need to be done with this comp. Regardless of that, happy that Nebula can close it out at the end, but Nameless... 32 kills from him on Ermin of all agents, and Big Fella AU. Sheesh. Look, I don't want to be like Lucix, I don't want to be that guy, right? Dropping the ball a little bit in the fragment department. This game could have been a lot more different if the kills were spread out a bit more even. But regardless, very strong showing for the first map. So I'm curious to see how they do bounce back into bind of all maps.
We shall see in just a moment. A short 7-minute breather as we clear up the issue with maybe having Astra in the game. But nonetheless, guys, don't walk away. Map 2, Bind, about to come your way real soon. As soon as I get rid of my face on the camera right now because, there we go, done and dusted. Nebula, they take map 1. And guys, see you soon. Alright guys, just a quick update. I'll extend the timer by a little bit more because I have no intention of casting another few more games after a full 8 hours early today by myself. So I'm gonna get a guest on to, you know, get some color analysis, get some chats going on. So stay tuned. I'll be back real soon, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And actually, I have a special guest up right now on with me because Crash, he's gone, he's tired, he wasn't feeling himself. It was a huge night out. I have to turn on the music. I'll say that again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I have a guest with me. Crash, he's feeling sick, so he's gone for now. But this is 1620 Kings Wildfire. Say hi, man.
Hey, how you going, man?
Pretty good. And exactly, he will be the guest for the rest of the series, and he will do the color analysis while I do play-by-play as usual. Anyways, guys, Map 2 Bind about to come in right now. Dynasty Esports Club versus Nebula. Map 1 went into triple OT, almost quadruple. It was bloody ridiculous. But nonetheless, Bind coming our way real soon. Let's get into it. So, Wildfire, tell me about Bind. What are your thoughts on this map?
It's quite an interesting one with because it's completely unique to most of the other maps with the teleporter and stuff like that. So it makes it more interesting with certain plays, and you get people like I saw today, Mindfreak's Watt come up with some crazy plays using Omen and the TP. So you can get some sneaky plays with it. You can use it to your advantage, or you could use it and just get absolutely railed when someone's waiting for you on the other end. But yeah, I love it. Actually, it's one of my favorite maps.
Favorite maps, and well, what would you think is an ideal composition coming into this though?
I'm really liking the
Sova,
like
perhaps?
I don't know. Like the pretty much what they've what Dynasty's kind of got is pretty much right. Except there he goes. Yeah, Cypher's in. Yeah, that's like the perfect setup essentially.
To have sneaks on Cypher to lock down, you know, certain angles and camera for information as well. But we don't see a raise on the side of Dynasty and only a single duelist, which apparently it's starting to become sort of meta right now. You get to go triple duelist or single duelist. But Nebula, you're seeing Dragon, who usually plays Jet, pick the Viper, minimize on another Sky pick, Jesse on the raise I talked about earlier, Rolls on Brimstone, which I think actually works out on Bind, and of course Suave as Sova. So it's more of a curveball composition coming out from Nebula. Meanwhile, from Dynasty, much more standard, I would say.
Yeah, Nebula's kind of picked up the Korean style of play, except with the pick in the Sky and the Brimstone. But at the same time, the Viper's a bit interesting with the new changes and stuff like that. I can really see that working in the same style, having like the sky flashes go through like the walls and stuff like that. That'd be very interesting to see. Because like I was saying before, the Dynasty lineup is like a default nice little lineup sort of thing.
It's default, but I hope it works out in their favor. As you know, one duelist, in fact, on both sides. Jet versus Race to come into this. And of course, camera controls, Crash isn't here, so I'll be handing over to you, Wildfire. And all you have to do is just press the buttons, focus on whichever player's point of view you think is about to come into action, and we'll go from there. Easy peasy. It's a new experience for everyone. Nonetheless, currently, Nebula, as you can see, they are starting off on the attack side. And they won map 1, but now looking to play default. Sorry, my dogs are just barking. Looking to play default, aggressing around the map, but a triple push towards mid potentially coming out from Dynasty right now. Keto, first one engagement, and goes down to Nebula. Instant trade back by Nameless. Still a 4-on-4. The spike hasn't been revealed just yet. They know. Players out towards Bath. That's a great blind by Minimize. Couldn't quite catch the players. Yet another one, and this could be huge. Paranoid. Perfect timing from Nameless as he picks up 2 kills. Rolls and Minimize. They go down. Nebula, only 2 players standing, losing only 1 player on Dynasty. This is looking great for Dynasty coming into this round. Jesse still peeking through. Nameless does get revealed and repositions. Great play by him and Jesse. He's taking damage, not dealing out much damage though. Spike has been retaken, but a 2v4 on the pistol round. The Cypher of Dynasty still lurking on the B sites. This is a rough situation, Wildfire, for Nebula.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hard one here with the rotate coming out. It looks alright. It looks like that they're picking up on it and the rotate's coming out there from Lucic. But now they got the 2-2, which is pretty easy.
Sneaks and Lucic, they have this angle locked down, and Ghost, you know, at these distances, it's gonna pop heads hard. The timing works out. Sneaks does reveal them though. Jesse blasts back onto side. His back is exposed towards Sneaks. We'll go to the headshot. Sneaks gets taken out. Lucic with the shock dart. Almost taking off another player. But Suave and Jesse, 2v3 now. They have to cover all bases at once. The initial kill has to come in clutch for them. And Lucic's looking at the recon arrow of all things. Suave gets the kill all down to the last player. And Suave wallbanging through. Takes down big fella. Wildfire. I can't believe this happened because Nebula, they were on the back foot initially. But they brought things back. 2v4 that was.
Yeah, it was. Oh, was surprised. Like I thought they called it out with the rotate there, but as soon as the Sova came around, I looked at Uka. He immediately started going away, and it just came at perfect timing. This is good to see that the rotate came at the same time. There was no commitment just to hold on 2-2. It was just Lucix there going for his gut feeling, and unfortunately, the gut feeling worked the first time, not the second time.
First time, not the second time, indeed. And Nebula, same plays, but we're seeing a push coming out from Hookah, I do think, from the two players in there. Lucix, initial recon arrow, he will get destroyed, and Jesse still holding the angle. Of course, the standard Roomba lineups, it may expose one player at least, but it depends how many players shoot right now to give intel. They know that Sneaks isn't in there just yet, but great bounce off the wall. Sneaks, he's hiding for his dear life. 19 HP, he barely survives that blast pack. Jesse for 2 in a split second. That's brutal right now.
Completely got the B side now for those 2 kills in Hookah.
Suave pushing so aggressively even further down, tapping away with the Spectre. He himself gets dinked at a distance. Things aren't favoring him, but it's okay. Big brother Jesse is here to pull him out of the sticky situation. Going for more, farming up that showstopper. 2 kills, and he will have it available. Keto playing close range with the shorty, narrowly tagging down Jesse. How's he not dead at this point? Thankfully, having Sky on the team means easy free heals. Big fella, along with his teammate, attempting the retake. But, oh dearie me, look, 5 players of Nebula standing. Wildfire, I really don't like their chances. Minimize first point on engagement. Narrowly sees Keto run onto side by himself now. Too much utility. The Viper decay as well. Keto catches 1, and the knife is minimized. Doesn't quite get the kill, and they go for the knife at this point. Keto picks up 3. That's brutal.
That's rough to actually lose 3 there in that situation. They easily should have had the 5 living. So, it kind of ruins the economy a little bit if they have to rebuy with 3 people.
3 people and Nebula. Look, Wildfire, I think they probably can go for a half buy and a stinger, or I mean not stinger, but like a frenzy at this point. But you definitely don't want to be losing that cash money throwing it away like that. You're only up by 2 rounds. It's not a huge lead.
Yeah, especially when it's like this early in the match. You don't want to kind of ruin that early. You want to make sure you don't throw away stupid kills and stuff like that, with the knife kill especially.
Well, full buys coming out from Dynasty this round. Nameless and Keto actually are only 2 players to actually have any kills on the scoreboard. 3 kills apiece, 0 on everyone else. Fat Donuts. Lucid changes that right off the bat, takes down Jesse. Long distance headshot with the Vandal. Rolls farming the ult points for the orbital strike, as you like to see. And that's perfect. Sneaks, he'll be caught out of position, hit the push out. It's a clean shot. Rolls for 2. Lucix and nowhere to run. Wildfire, how are they taking sight off of pure utility? 4v3 now, but Keto has a rifle. He gets 1. He's looking for more now at this point. Minimize has to go to the peak. And Keto, this guy's so sharp. The wall bang onto Minimize. With Nebula, the bleeding players. He's down to the last legs now. Nameless. Pushing, smoking out, helping his teammate. But that lineup from Dragon, the snake bites, it will delay the defuse just a little bit longer. Keto for 3 at this point. Dragon on the flank will catch 1. 1v2. It's not looking likely, especially that flashpoint. Oh, blind him. Thankfully, it was a good dodge, but 1v2. A double pick going his way. Nebula gets a Dragon, another, but Keto, the trade back, 4 kills, has the ultimates, and there you go, done and dusted. Defuse to come through. Yes, first point on the board for Dynasty.
That was a really good use of util to get on the side. It was just unfortunate to see that they had no cover for the back area, because that's what just happened with like the loss of the round there with Keto and a big fella coming around flanking from A, and almost immediately, like no threat, just ran straight through mid into Markin, right behind him, and able to get the few kills that changed the whole round.
And that's all it takes, just, you know, at the right time, right positioning, and right utility usage. It just changes everything in your favor. Nebula, they're rich for days now. Well, not rich for days, but they have full rifles coming into this. Jesse with the showstopper and Dragon, of course. The Viper's Pits. It's a staggered buy coming out from Dynasty. The odds, I don't like it. Perhaps they should have gone for... Well, you know what? They can't really go for a save. Dragon. That screen goes down. It's a firing squad. It's a lineup as well. Dragon for 3. Catches Keto, Nameless, and Big Fella. Falls prey to his shenanigans. Last 2 players of Dynasty going for a rotate. Minimize pushing deep on towards the defender spawn. Lucix and Sneaks. Wildfire, I think it would be wise for them to go for the save at this point. And that Molotov will buy time even more. Sneaks sitting and burning. Rolls gets the kill. This is brutality. There's not a single player that's less than half HP on the side of Nebula. Lucix What would you do in this situation realistically?
Well, they both should have been saving at this point. Like, they knew they had a bit of a money hit with them. And I guess if they do more damage, it helps out a lot. But right there, Sneaks had some money that he could have saved. Probably would have been better to send Lucix out. But that was insane use of the Viper Wall on short there with Dragon. Although that might not work again.
It might not work again, and honestly, I reckon, dude, it may have been just pure luck, really. Dragon sitting in the corner with the Viper Wall, and just happened to have 3 players push up. He had the right gun in this situation as well. If he hit the Vandal, sure, maybe the first 2 kills, but then the trade back was very much possible. The Phantom, perfect at that angle.
It's an amazing setup, though, because it just makes them so aware of that. If they go short, there's always going to be some Viper looking there.
Oh, look at that as well. That's brutal. It's the same old. And Dragon, look at this, Wildfire. He's repositioned. So he said it might not work, but Dynasty, they're not pushing this round. Oh, that's just disgusting.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
The Trailblazer catches out Nameless, and Dragon just walks right through the easiest kill of his life in Keto. Going for the aggressive push, rolls on an off angle, catches yet another kill. Nebula, they're starting to show their strengths now. They're playing slow, they're playing passive, and playing smart. They're picking off Dynasty one at a time. Only Baths is dirty, but Big Fella with the classic. Support from Lucix may not be able to go too far. Lucix, man, went into U-Haul. And point blank, yeah, look, it's a rifle that won that engagement. And Worlds as well, the fire rate boost. Big Fella, he did some damage, wasn't quite enough to finish the job. We could be looking at another potential flawless round going away of Nebula Wildfire.
Yeah, again, utility usage right there has won the round. The only thing I can really say for Dynasty to be doing here is to actually throw some other utility in the opposite direction for info. But that's essentially what the lineup that Nebula's picked with the way that they're doing things. Like right there, so our drone coming through. I'm just sitting there watching. And the Sky Flash is another one that's for info.
It's good by Sneaks as well. He had the brains to turn around and sting a Sky Flash, but it was Dragon that came with the single one tap at distance. Flawless round for Nebula. 4 ultimates online for them, and Suave not far behind.
Yeah, the usage of like having a Sova is huge on this map because you get so much information where you go, but then doubling it with the Sky there is kind of what the Korean style play goes. Why we call it the Korean style. They like to use a double info to have essentially what they're doing right now. Most rounds, they're not defaulting this round, but having a Sova go long and then having the Sky go showers, both a bit of infill on both sides, and having Nebula just control the middle.
Same Viper Wall coming out from Dragon. He won't opt to use it early on though, and Jesse will get spotted, but the Trailblazer comes through to clear Hookah. And this is once again Wildfire, fantastic utility usage. Seekers are deployed. It will clear out the angles. They know there's one towards the elbow angle. Nameless. And he will get revealed, but it's a Hunter's Fury from Lucix actually to do some damage towards Nebula. Nebula, they're starting to move on to the B side with only Jesse very close to the defendant spawn area. Shoots out the showstopper to no avail, and there you go, the Viper's pit.
With the scope.
Oh, but Nameless, he's uncontested currently, but that's a flash going his way. Dodges it and minimized. Good for 1. Jesse takes down Big Fella. Dragon, he's still hiding above on site, and this Viper's pit, it's so deadly because anyone that touches it, that's minus 50 HP instantaneously. Nebula. Oh, they take the round reasonably handily. They lost 3 players, using only 1 ultimate though, so not a bad trade, I reckon.
I don't know if Rules wanted to do that smoke like that. He had a gap in the smoke on elbow. I don't know if that was actually what he meant to do, but it gave Nameless a good spot to push out there.
Well, fortunately, Nameless, he didn't actually get too much out of that angle though.
No, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Was it on purpose?
I'll be honest. I would assume it was accidental. It just happened to work out in his favor.
Yeah, they really played with it.
Well, Wildfire, look at the economy now, because Dynasty, it's pretty bad. You don't have money. You have to stay above that 1.5k line and have some powerful guns to work with. It's a Sheriff, sure, but in the hands of sharp players, it can make a difference. But against Nebula right now, how tactical they're playing, it's going to be rough. Oh, speaking of tactical, there you go. Nameless. Oh, narrowly eating more paint shells. Does manage to TP out Suave. Owl Drone to clear out B-Long. Wildfire, Nebula looking to go for an anti-eco. Oh, okay, that bird just stopped in midair, and Suave will catch out Nameless, using an ultimate against an anti-eco. It's a bit expensive, but it does at least secure them a single kill going their way, and Nebula taking this round still so slowly, using all their utility and picking up the kills. Big fella narrowly gets spotted out, and Dragon, he's eager to finish off his job. Little does he know, though, Lucix is just right around the corner. All it takes is a single shot from Lucix right now, and he looks away in the nick of time. That's just brutal. Nebula, they're starting to take the B-side. Keto finally, with the Blade Storms, gets a trade back onto Jesse. Nebula, they're starting to swarm over to B. And the TP over to A, because they know Big Fella is the last player on site.
30 seconds left.
And I think he's in for a rude awakening, Wildfire.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He makes the most of it.
He tried his best, but Dragon finally with the backstab takes him out, and the Snakebite as well. It'll force the rotation to come out late, all down to the last player. I'm not even sure if he has his Blade Storms or not. He doesn't. Keto, you breathe on the guy. He's on 1 HP. He's gonna die. Wildfire, this is punishment from Nebula.
Yeah. Nebula has a great post plant set up. They're having a big triangle, being able to shoot from every direction. Every time one of them pushed out for a reload, someone was there to kill him. Really good post playing with Nebula.
Oh, and look at the kills as well. Keto, double digits. The first player on Dynasty to hit there. Big fella, it's the 8th round. Still a donut. Meanwhile for Nebula, Dragon of all players. Usually he plays Jet, but he's starting to really warm up to his role as Viper. He's using his utility to perfection, getting the kills, almost getting the Viper's Pit again. Whirls with the Orbital Strike. We could be seeing more utility usage coming out from Nebula.
Big play here right now. If it works out. Nope.
Suave. Our drone to get intel. Spot out at least one, but that's a lot of footsteps from Dynasty over towards the B side. Rotation might be in order. Big fella and Keto trying to lock down A. Trying to hold 2 angles at once, really. What? Big fella! Oh, there you go. Donut no more. Owen is dead. Rurals with the Orbital Strike. That's a really interesting ultimate, though. It won't really catch a player, but it does flip the site. He got a kill onto Big Fella, and Nebula Dragon chimes in. Nameless is gone. That's the source of smokes for the defenders. Keto still anchoring in that U-Haul angle. Takes down Suave. The Page shots will force him out of the angle a little bit, but he's so hesitant to push through the Viper wall because it just debuffs you 50 HP instantaneously, and you can't afford to have that in any situation. Nebula, post-plant, 3-on-3, no ultimates to work with, but then again, granted, on Dynasty, no impact ultimates either. They only have utility that was just used. Sneaks, trying to push onto the sites, picking up the skin, the Phantom, which because it feels better probably. But Dragon with a nerd lineup potentially. Yeah, there you go. And if you press F right now as he shoots it, it will follow the trajectory. Jesse hiding in the corner. Sneaks, not going, clearing all the way. Jesse for one, rolls for another. It's all down to the last player by himself. Lucix gets taken down by Rurals, 3 kills, and charging up the Orbital Strike even further. Yeah, look, it's
interesting lineups.
It is interesting lineups, but it actually works out so well. So it's very obvious that Nebula, despite their history of playing standard compositions, they have been rehearsing. Whoever the coaches, they've been stepping up their game, seriously, with these lineups and this unorthodox composition. You have Jesse as a solo duelist, but it's working in their favor. They're up by 6 rounds, and the economy for Dynasty, it's back to Stone Ages again. You have pistols and half armor to work with.
Yeah, I think back to the round 2 that I was mentioning with the ruining economy. I think they just had a lot of confidence behind them in terms of wanting to go for those kills and be able to keep the money later.
Oh, Keto. He does get the better of Dragon this time, and Big Fella narrowly avoids Whirls. That's a clean shot they can't really afford to challenge. Whirls misses the shots, tags down Big Fella, 16 HP though. Nebula, they have a healer on their team. Dynasty does not. The Seekers are available. It will spot out a few players, and Sneaks, that's a really close angle, manages to reposition. It's a bit brutal. Yeah, exactly. Sneaks with his sneakers, sneaking around on sight. Oh, that's huge by Jesse. Will catch a player, and the jet dash wasn't quite in time from Keto. Sneaks, however, was there for the trade. He's by himself though, no gun in hand for some reason. The frenzy is gone. Minimize gets an easy kill. There may have been a bug, but if it was, I feel bad for Sneaks. It's down to the last player now. Suave shocked out onto Big Fella, 2v1, and all Nebula has to do is play the buddy-buddy system. I don't like the odds for the last player. working his way on site. Has picked up a Vandal. It's possible. It's 2 1v1s. Suave holding this angle down so tight. A dink came out. A dink came out as well. But it wasn't enough for a kill. Nebula, they're running away with this game. 7 rounds now. 7-round buffer. Wildfire. This could be a 2-0 series.
Yeah, it's looking pretty strong with Nebula. They're using the util well. They're playing pretty systematically, being able to. You can tell that they've practiced a lot, like the way they've lined up, and the way they rotate, and the way they're doing it. There's a lot of util usage in the mid, which is good for them, going through Dragon and Jesse there, and then having the outside info makes everything so much easier for them to decide where to go.
Oh, and also, do you think it's because maybe some of the players of Dynasty, they're really not stepping up to the occasion right now? Kito's on 12, Nameless is on 3. That's the next highest amount of kills. That might have a huge contributing factor coming into the scoreline.
Yeah, they're probably well more drilled. It's Nebula. Like, they're going to be doing a lot more drills and stuff like that, making sure they're perfect.
That's true. Well, as I say that, a 1-for-1 trade so far. Jesse does come out on top. The man advantage for Nebula. Minimize the bird. It was a fake. It forced Kito to turn around. That's brilliant. He gets the kill to Nameless. Dragon from behind stabs Nebula. Stabs, another player? And sneaks. He's all on his lonesome. 1v3. Yeah, man, I don't like his odds. Was that something flying in the air? What was that? A Rico now shot that, I think.
Spike planted.
Interesting. He pinged it on the map and it came out with a teddy bear.
Huh. Interesting. Suave, he heard the TP. Maybe aware that someone has pushed out really far, though. Sneaks. The sneak is on. Black Panther style.
This wall Suave makes. Not Suave, sorry. Net Dragon makes. It's huge. Look at the cover. Look at where they're playing. Like, even though, like, where it was at the end, having the Sky and the Sova sitting behind that wall area just pops the wall, makes them hide, and they can reposition.
It covers U-Haul, it covers Defender Spawn, and just a little bit extra towards mid as well. So I have a feeling, Wildfire, you say, look at this wall, at the same time, you're writing the notes down right now. Use this next game.
Well, it's just kind of huge how the Viper, that one little buff to the damage, has immediately made us so much more usable and viable in a game. Exactly. All it takes is one small tweak. Well, I wouldn't really call it a small tweak. 50 damage instantaneously from a touch? That's humongous, dude. A flash. And Dragon gets one onto Kito again. It was indirect, but nonetheless, minimized. Oh, gets wallbanged to death. Big fella saw it coming this time. Rolls even gets tagged down to half HP. It's, Nebula, they have the better guns, but Suave not checking his angles and will get executed point blank by Lu6. Suave, not so suave, eh? Oof. Would have thought he checked that angle instantly. Unfortunate for him.
But somehow, off of noises, Dynasty, they rotate off of the A side, and it's been completely taken by Nebula. You only have one player up towards A heaven, big fella. He's aware of something, and Dragon does the freaking Michael Jackson dance move, pumps down the Viper's pit, rolls onto Nameless. Nebula, they even things up again. Oh, spots out the head actually towards U-Haul. I don't think big fella realized he's not shooting. All's one of two players. It's a potential lineup situation. Dragon missing the shot, but now he's starting to panic. Sneaks, picks up a Phantom for himself. 2v3. It's possible. Oh, Dragon picks up big fella. That's the Rolling Thunder gone now. The retake looking harder and harder by the second. But however, the Hunter's Fury can be the difference maker right now. Dragon playing out of his Viper's Pit. Won't get spotted. Sneaks point blank. Go for the reload. Dragon go for the push. That Viper's Pit might expire though if he's out for too long. Jesse repositioning, and Dragon, he's about to lose the Viper's Pit. Jumps back in time. Jesse takes down Lu6. 2v1 now. Sneaks. This is going to be almost impossible. You're already so low. So what happens if you actually touch the Viper util when you're this low? Less than 50 HP. Do you go to 1?
Yes, you go down to 1.
Well, I'll take your word for it because I'm sure you've tried it in the custom.
Oh, actually not yet, but I've seen people go through and hit 1. I might be wrong on that. I might be completely wrong on that. But I've seen him people hit 1 when they go through the Viper stuff. So I'm assuming it doesn't kill you unless you actually go into the molly that Viper has.
Oh, okay. Well, then, the snake bite, the molly, it's guaranteed to kill you at that point. I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, but exactly. Look, Wildfire, 9 rounds lead for Nebula. They're looking so strong now. Oh, Keto gets taken out instantaneously. Dragon, he's feeling himself now. This man has played for about 10 hours today, maybe 11, non-stop. Thankfully, he's 16 years old. That's why he has energy to do this. Nebula gets forced out. He's gonna die at this rate. Dragon for 3. No. This is huge. He's just farming all the players currently. Going further and further aggressive. Sneaks, goes down. Dragon for the 8 at this point. Lose 6, goes down. Dragon indeed. 5 kills, Penta. This is brutal. 11-1. This is just pure punishment. Dragon is punishing Dynasty just for existing, just for daring to bring them to map 2.
There's another perfect usage of that wall from Dragon there. Being able to use that with the flash, go through it, pop it back up when he needs to, prop it down when he needs to, and just kill everyone. Ran straight through into U-Haul. Didn't have to worry about anyone peeking. They put all the flashes into U-Haul and they ran out and killed the people that are outside. He ended up flanking behind and killing the other people that were flashed.
Look, Wildfire pre-patch. Oh, okay, great. I'm impressed. So am I, because right now, pre-patch, I would think Dragon on Jet is the go-to. You have the young kid play the most, like, I wouldn't say complex, but, like, fastest character. But now, I'm a believer. Viper is putting in the work. Stuff is working, guaranteed. Now, another interesting wall. It clears quite a few angles, and it guarantees a pass. Oh no, going further through their wall even. In a mad aggression push coming on the pistol round from Nebula. Sneak's going to have to call for a rotation, help from his teammates. And while the Aldrin comes out to spot out towards A main. And look at the utility as well. Usually you can push through smokes, but the Viper orb, it won't matter anymore because Sneak's from behind. True to his name, sneaking around, the trade back by Minimize, and wasn't expecting Keto to be so close. Minimize, what do you invest in the utility? Rolls, the molly line up now. This is nerdy as hell.
Nah. Oh.
Okay.
I think I knew what he was going for there.
I will take your word for it, but that's not the default plant spot, I'll be honest. Keto looking to win this engagement. It's all down to the last player now, Jesse, the duelist. The pain shells haven't invested. It will block off U-Haul for the time being, but 1v3, 3 separate angles with the classic. And if he gets tagged by the camera dart, things aren't looking in his favor.
It is not. Waiting for the swing here. That's it.
And our job gets a whole lot easier.
Well, Dynasty, they've doubled their rounds just then. And Nebula, though, you still have a 9-round buffer, so they have plenty of time to have fun and try and make something happen off of that single pistol round loss. Dragon, as you can see there, they're toying with Buckies. Now, post-nerf Buckies, do you think it's still viable going for this crazy plays?
I mean, yes, it just depends on where you want to play and how you want to set it up, but realistically, it's not the most viable gun to use now at all. You better have really just going for the shorty if you want to have an impact like that.
It's cheaper as well. But we'll get to that in a bit later. Dragon, oh my gosh, this is brutality. Still going further, and now there you go. There's the shorty you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly, that's the right situation right now.
But Dynasty, they're working over towards Hookah. Already one player about to engage. It's a crossfire lined up there. The recon arrow doesn't scan anything. Jesse, point blank, Nameless gets blasted to hell. And I do think that's a shock dart to come out as well. Jesse's filched himself a single Spectre for his teammates. Drops the shorty for some reason. His team already had a shorty. Dragon, well, another on the other side of the map. This is brutal. This is brutal. Dynasty, they're falling apart now. They're bleeding players. The smokes are gone. The flanks are open. And Nebula, they are unrelenting. They keep going and going and going. We could be seeing more shorties now towards Octagon. Rolls. Okay, has a classic. I was expecting shorty, but nonetheless. Big footsteps. Good damage. Big fella is already very low. It's a fantastic dink. Nebula, I think they're poised to potentially take this round. And as I say that, Keto gets 2 for himself. Just aggressive on the side. Hold W. Hold down the left mouse button. There's only one button on his mouse. Dragon. From behind, the timing works out in his favor. Will maybe catch a second, but he's tagged down. He has a Spectre to work with. The wall bait wasn't quite enough. The recon arrow from Swab wasn't quite enough to save him. But have a 1v2, it's possible. But the shorty at that distance, couldn't actually get the kills going. A classic may have worked, but nonetheless, Dynasty, they pick up the 3rd round.
Yeah, I don't know if you were kind of noticing there in the showers area with Dragon again. Same play, had the wall up, ready with the shorty. Cypher throws in a camera. He was able to block it off with that wall. Just sits in that corner.
That's huge.
Waited for the camera to go down, pulls the wall down, and immediately kills Cypher.
It's actually huge.
This is a nice spot.
I'm a believer now. Dragon, look, he's about the 30 bomb playing Viper. He's not even a duelist. He usually mains a duelist, but somehow everything is working out in his favor for this game. He has the feeling so good of himself. Nebula, now they have rifles, but Big Fella does get the initial first pick onto Rurals. That's the smokes and potential post-plant mollies gone. Dragon, and maybe that's the downside of that smoke wall, because it allows Keto to get into a sneaky position. Dragon gets caught off guard down Nebula, they are down a player. They have some utility to work with. Sova is still alive.
I'm controlling the camera too.
Yes, you are. Jesse, he's pushed down long, and he's getting 2 players, Big Fella and Sneaks, to get taken out, and the heal come out from Minimize. Nebula, you thought they were on the back foot, but they are getting the kills and the striking back. Down to the last 2 players on the B sites. Well, actually, the attackers, they managed to take the B side, I just realized, and the spike, however, it's been dropped over towards the well there, the fountain. Minimize, and Jesse locking the angle down. Dynasty, they're starting to get pinched now. Things are looking rough. It's trading bullets. Minimize with the flash. Could be huge for his team. Suave gets the initial kill onto Loose 6. Looking for more now at this point. Nameless by himself with the Spectre. Going for more. Can't quite get it. Suave, the triple kill. Nebula, it's match point.
Match point. Anyone have funds to spare?
So, yeah, honestly, Nebula, they've had one hell of a run this series. Map 1 on Haven, it was a very unorthodox composition. It worked out fantastically. Granted, they had Astra, which is still banned, by the way, in the LPL League. You can't play her just yet, not until LPL gives you the good to go. So, Map 2, they switched things out. A similar lineup, Jesse on the Ray, Suave on Omen, and things are working out fantastically. Dragon now. He doesn't have to buy anything, he's just playing cheaply. Nebula, once again, it's match points. And they're just holding on. No one of Dynasty eager to push out just yet. The Viper wall goes down, Keto aggresses into showers. Has a teammate there to back him up, and Dragon with a really premature, I won't say premature, but early snake bite to hold back a potential mid push. That shock dart was perfect timing, and I think I know what they're going for. Because if they had Astral utility in towards showers plus that shock dart, it would have been huge. Jesse, along with Rurals on the B sites, trying to anchor it down because there are 2 players currently of Dynasty in hookah looking to aggress out. Here comes the recon arrow, I believe. Nameless, ideally to play off of it. A smoke to come out as well, and here comes the take. Big Fella with the flashes, back sight, and the dash from up high. Keto getting on site, they've cleared it, and the retake is looking to be a 5v5 post-plant situation. This is huge from Jesse though. He gets a spray through the smoke for free, does a little bit of damage, not quite enough, and the orbital strike to come out. This is the fantastic time for Nebula to push, but it doesn't matter because Rose gets a kill into Big Fella. The spike is not yet planted. 20 seconds left. Dragon gets yet another, and a clean headshot potentially to come out. As it trades back and forth. Suddenly, Nebula is 2-on-2. The spike has to be planted right now. 1-on-1, and Minimize does win the day with the judge. 13-3. They sweep the series. Clean play by Nebula. Unbelievable. Now, guys, you know how I like to do things. I always like to organize an interview with the captain of the winning team. You know, just to see what they think. But Wildfire, what do you make of that? That was a clean sweep all the way.
Yeah, it was a really, really crazy game to watch from Nebula's side of point of view. With the whole util usage, how Viper was able to close literally a whole section of the map and make the other team so scared to be near it. Just after that, I think it was very early, like the 4th or 5th round, having Dragon sitting in that one spot where he dropped the wall and killed 3. That was such a huge play, a prediction, and it scared them for the rest of the match, I reckon.
It scared them absolutely. At Dynasty, I don't think they were accustomed to try counter, you know, this sort of a composition coming out from Nebula. You already have, you know, your Viper that's already crazy enough, but Minimize as well on the Sky. Things worked out fantastically in their favor. Now, Wildfire, if you'll just accept my friend request real quick, I'll get Minimize added to the call so I can go for the interview. Dragon, 27 kills, by the way, on Viper. He's been doing this for about 10, 11 hours today. He played in the Lenovo Legion One Day Cup. I was there commentating for it. I ducked out towards the grand finals, though, and now look at this. Man's an absolute machine. This is the power of youth, legitimately. When I was 16, I could, you know, just pull an all-nighter, go to school the next day, be fine, come back home and do it again. 5 first bloods as Viper, for crying out loud. Like you said, the sneaky plays just paying off huge, big time. Now, Minimize. Let's get him in the chat. I have him added. Huh. Strangely enough, I can't find him right now. I know I've spoken to him. There we go. Minimize. That's the man that we're after. I'll add him to the call. Oh, I'm not friends with him either. That explains a lot. So, well, Wildfire, tell me. 16 to 20 Kings. I understand you guys went far in the Lenovo Legion tournament today, but couldn't quite go all the way. But it was impressive to see the progress. So what takeaways do you have from observing this game tonight?
Well, to change our game on the day today is for me not to leave midway through the tournament to go to a family event.
Oh, that helps a lot too. Who was your sub? Because I remember you guys had someone to come in.
Yeah, we had Blair, one of our subs. He came and played the rest of the game for the rest of the tournament until I came along, and then it ended up being essentially too late at that point. Everyone was too tired. It was the end of the day. So yeah, but no, I think Viper, like Dragon, really showed a huge part that we can use Viper in. I think like a lot of other regions are starting to use Viper in a way as well. You can definitely see it if like you know, the Australians overseas, as in Sonics were using it on certain maps, and it made it just really, really good usage of it. Bob really showed us how we can use it. Maybe Dragon's picked up on that and put it his own use in other maps, but it was interesting to see that they had Viper combined with another smoke agent, whereas a lot of people have only been really thinking of using Viper as Viper without.
Well, I absolutely would agree with you on that point, and Viper, like I said earlier, huge potential. But now we do have the team captain of Nebula, Minimize, in the call with us. Minimize, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. You know, just frothing over the win.
All right, you sound absolutely happy from what I'm hearing right now. So what went so well, Map 2? Map 1, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, I'd say Map 2 is one of our more refined maps at the moment. You know, we have a lot more practice on Bind compared to Haven.
Especially with the agent lineups?
Yeah, going into Haven, you know, that's the first time I've ever run that comp. We were pretty fresh.
Well, imagine how you guys felt when you found out that Astra was still banned.
Yeah, I don't know. The character's been out for 3 weeks. You know, I think it's because they have the Viper buff in the game, and they have all these new metas. So, like, it's not like they're using the old meta. It's like a completely new meta if they ban Astra, which is kind of weird. But yeah.
Well, Wildfire, from like one brain to another, what do you have to ask Minimize?
Did Dragon come up with all that, or is that something you made the player? Because the way that Dragon used the wall and his whole setup and the whole map really showed the dominance of what you guys can do with just getting a little bit of info on the outsides.
Yeah, well, Dragon spends a lot of time in Fury, in the custom game, just going around looking at Viper stuff, and it's made him a better Viper because of it. But
definitely shows, considering that he used to be an insane Jet player. Yeah,
we get a lot of our ideas from different sources, and you know, we're trying to change the meta a bit, but we'll see how we go.
Well, who would have guessed? Nebula, the pioneers of a potentially new meta. And also, you guys said that Bind is one of your more refined maps. Now, this may be a bad thing because teams may start banning Bind from now on. But the point is, I think you guys actually have Astra setups as well on Bind. I think you guys would have wanted to play her on that map.
You're asking if we want to play Astra on Bind?
Well, would you?
We'll find out, won't we?
Okay, well, no comments. Basically, the guarantees are yes. I saw some things that looked very Astra-ish, that she would fit a piece of the puzzle. But nonetheless, man, Map 2, clean sweep, 13-3, just pure dominance. Dragon popping off, 27 kills. Map 1, though, triple overtime. What went so wrong?
Yeah, like I said before, you know, that was our first time running the comp on that map. I had some ideas on how to play the comp, but I actually had no idea how it turned out in practice. And
right.
I'm just glad that we have a VOD that we can look back and iron out things going into Haven in the future, because right now it's kind of a mess. But yeah.
Well, I'll be honest though, Crash, when he was observing, he pointed out some small, silly mistakes that, you know, a team, Nebula, granted, you guys aren't like, you know, top 4, but definitely a reasonable team not to be trifled with. Shouldn't be mistakes that you guys shouldn't be making. But like you said, this is the VOD, so you guys can research and focus on what went wrong and what went fantastically right. But anyways, man, one MVP for the series, who was it?
I think it's got to go to Dragon, right? On that Viper, you know, he's just causing a tear. He plays the hero really well. He's really unpredictable when he plays that character. He's always making plays. You know, you never know what he's gonna do with the wall.
Showers play was crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty creative. So I'd have to give it to Dragon.
Well, Minimize, there we have it. And any last minute shouts from you before we end the call?
Follow Team Nebula on Twitter. Support the boys.
You heard the man. Support the boys. And thank you for coming. Congratulations again. Go get some rest, man.
Cheers, bro. Have a good one.
Well, Wildfire, you heard him. Team captain of Nebula, Minimize, giving us the rundown and a slight potential hint at what Astra could bring to their composition into Bind, the more refined map, so to speak. Wildfire, any last thoughts from you?
Oh, I'm scared now with the Astra. When you mentioned that, Astra is meant to be, now I can see every little bit of play that they were talking about. Imagine a double wall breaking it up with the Astra as well. Like, as obviously an ult, but all the spots that he was, the wall covered, all the Astra util kind of really shouts out, that should be there, that should be there. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens when they can start using Astra.
Hopefully it will be soon. But nonetheless, man, that will be all from us tonight. A 2-0 series done and dusted. Nebula triumph relatively easily, especially in map 2. Wildfire, it's been a pleasure having you on. I understand this may be one of your first experiences, but it actually went so well. You're, like, people in chat were saying, you're a natural at this. Just, feeling fantastically. Even observing was great. So do you have any last words before we close?
That was fun. I really liked it. Thanks for bringing me along. I dodged a comp game, so I really hope those people aren't mad at me and I don't get banned.
Well, don't worry. Like, when you get back and you see the players again, just tell them, oh, dude, I was a guest caster on, DigitalQF's channel that night. It was a huge game, Nebula versus Dynasty. But on the bright side, though, watching this game, you learned so much more about Viper lineups and potential Astra plays as well. So it's huge going to your team as well, 16 to 20 Kings. Shout out, by the way.
Perfect.
Well, guys, that's all from us. You heard the man, the one of the players for 1620 Kings, Wildfire, right there. You can follow him on Twitter at
Wildfire_AU.
You heard the man. And guys, of course, I'm your caster, DigitalQF. You can follow me on Twitter too, DigitalQF. Or just follow my channel right here, in which you'll see me casting more games in the future. Probably LPL mostly. We'll see what happens though. And as well, for all my fans out there, thank you everyone for the follows. Thank you TMZ2 for the 2 subs tonight. Gifted 1 to Centimeters, the owner of Nebula, who was probably sitting there game 1 sweating his balls right off, seeing it go to triple OT. He was having a great time. We had a great time. Everyone, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, see you next time.